Okay, so patch 13.14 dropped yesterday. I played 9 games with a 3.67 average, so pretty good. And I would have done much better if it wasn't for this 8th place. Look at, I died on 3-1 with Cruel Pact. But otherwise, I feel like I have a good sense of what's strong in this meta, so let's jump into my tier list for day 1, starting with Legends. For S tier, I have Ornn. Ornn feels really good, as always. He's just so freaking consistent. Um, all of his augment choices are either average or above average, so you never really low roll with Ornn. I think he's especially strong in this meta because them buffing the 2 cost and 3 cost units now, if you don't have a strong early and mid game board, you just get ran over. And so Ornn giving you those early items is going to be very helpful. I think right now Ornn's not that popular because people are experimenting with other things, but it'll become Ornn meta in like a week. And then secondly, we have Bard. A lot of people are loving Bard for this augment right here, Caretaker's Ally. How it works is every time you level up, you're going to get the same tier 3 champion over and over again. So that means on level 7, you're going to have 4 copies of a tier 3 champion. And either you can play around that champion, or you can just straight up sell it, and it's still 3 gold, and it's actually still good value for a silver augment. My suggestion is now when you get offered a silver augment on 2-1, make sure to scout the lobby and see what everyone got as their tier 3 champion so you can get a sense of what everyone's playing. The downside of playing Bard is this one right here. Caretaker's Favor. This is hot garbage. You get 4 components when you reach level 8 compared to Ezreal who gets 3 components over 3 rounds. And sometimes you don't even reach level 8. So this sucks. And so that's the downside of playing Bard, is that this is the most common augment and you're going to have to reroll this in most cases. But the prismatic option is also really good. So when you play Bard, you're really praying for either the silver augment or the prismatic option. And then after that, you're likely going to take Forge. Forge is really strong. And then you're going to have to reroll the 4-2 option because seeing double is just garbage. In B tier, I have Poro. I played Poro yesterday, and it didn't feel that good. They nerfed a lot of the S tier augments, and then also all the kind of like silver ticket and all the like reroll options for low cost really suck now as well. So you end up taking a lot of kind of meh augments when you're playing Poro now. So he doesn't feel that good. So I put him in B tier. I put Vlad in B tier. Vlad's always been kind of meh. He's decently okay, but he might see some gain in popularity because he has Ascension. A lot of the fights are now going into overtime, right? So having Ascension might make him more popular. For my hot take, I put Earth in the B tier. I think a lot of the emblems are really good. Like the Invoker emblem is good, the Sorcerer emblem is good, Freljord emblem is really good. Some people are even playing Shurima, so Shurima emblem might be good. And then the Bruiser emblem is pretty good as well. Oh, and Ionia emblem is good. So Earth might gain some popularity in this meta, so I put him in the B tier. In the C tier, I have Asol. Asol going fast 9 feels a lot riskier now because they nerfed Bel'Veth. And then also when you go fast 9, sometimes you can't bully the people with like strong mid game boards, so you still drop rounds. So there's a higher risk of going 8th place when you play Asol now compared to last patch, in my opinion. And then they buffed Veigar, Caitlyn, and Draven, and they all still feel like they underperform. So they're in the C tier, they're playable, but I would not recommend these over the other options. Okay, for comps. In S tier, we have Invokers, and we have Freljord Akshan. This is how you play Invoker. I think the 4 Invoker variation is much stronger than the 6 Invoker variation. So 4 Invokers is you're playing around Karma, you're playing around Soraka, Galio, Shen, and TARIC. That's your core. And then once you get that down, you really want to throw in Ionia. So you throw in Set. And then you want to look for Lux as your duo carry on level 8. And then Jarvan for your to get Demacia. And for Karma, I think a mistake is re-rolling for Karma 3. Karma is so freaking contested that I use her as kind of an early spike in the mid game, throw on a Gunblade and any type of flat AP on her, and then use that to tempo into having Lux as your main carry. And so Lux, you really want the Giant Slayer because Lux's damage is all single target focus, especially on the front line. So you need the Giant Slayer, and then after that you can build a Jeweled Gauntlet and then Shojin. And then you really need Spark or a Shiv so that you can get some MR reduction. For augments, the Stellacorn's blessing, the value it gives is not very good, but the real value is that it gives you a Soraka and it gives you a TARIC. So if you can get this on 2-1 or 3-2, it helps your early and mid game board so much. So this is really strong on 2-1 and 3-2. On 4-2, it's practically useless. So I wouldn't recommend taking this on 4-2. Loving Invocation is pretty good. I think it's a little bit overrated. It's still like an A tier augment for sure, but I think there's some better options. So if you're really lacking in either frontline, some healing, whatever, there's some better options out there. So you don't need to always take the Loving Invocation. But I think the holy grail of this comp is Magic Wand. This comp really lacks flat AP. And so it giving 20% flat AP to everyone, in addition to that, giving you a needlessly large rod, you need a ton of needlessly large rods in the Evoker comp because you don't need any mana items, right? So all you really want are just as many rods as you can find. So this is like the holy grail of this comp. And then the second S tier comp is Akshan. Akshan feels incredibly strong. Probably the strongest 3-cost unit that got buffed. And so this is kind of hyper carry Akshan. What you want is your 3 Freljord, right? Sejuani, Lissandra, Ashe, and your 3 Shurima, which is Akshan, Nasus, Renekton, and then you switch over to Cassante. And then Shen fits perfectly after that. And so for Akshan, you just want to get to level 7 and then slow roll to get him to 3-star. And then you can consider also 3-starring Lissandra. For his items, you really need the Deathblade. This is an absolute must. And then after that, you really want the Infinity Edge. This combination is just really strong. And they nerfed the Hurricane interaction with him. So I think Giant Slayer is the better option. But if not, Hurricane is fine. So Giant Slayer or Hurricane last. They also buffed Suppressing Fire. This feels really good. So Suppressing Fire is a really good augment. But the Holy Grail is looking for a cut above. This giving a free Deathblade, look at, you're going to need at least 4 swords in this comp. So a cut above giving you a free Deathblade really helps you out for your itemization. And it just gives you free gold. This is the holy grail of this comp. And then a good alternative to that is you have my sword. Don't overlook this one. It giving you a free sword and then 18% AD. It's pretty much the same thing as a cut above without the free gold. So this comp, if you hit Akshan 3, there's a good chance you either go first or second. This comp is super strong. And then for the A tier comps, I have Sorcerer and Aphelios. These two comps are pretty much weaker versions of the S tier comps. So the way this works is you're playing around Lux, you're playing around TARC, you're playing around Swain, and then your Demacia units. And then you're going to start playing with Vel'Koz and Teemo. And then once you find Ahri, you're going to drop these and you're going to play around this. And the reason you would play this over the Invoker comp is if you don't find early Karmas, for example, or you find overcharged mana font. And so it's pretty much the same comp, but you're kind of skipping Karma and going straight for Lux in this comp, and then rolling for Ahri. And then I think this comp actually is the higher cap. Ahri feels super strong. I think she's probably the best legendary unit. She got buffed. And so she's probably, when you're trying to win a game, always try to play around Ahri if you can, when you're playing AP. And then this is the Aphelios Deadeye Freljord comp. This again is like the weaker version of the Akshan comp. And the reason you would play this comp is if you, in the mid game, you couldn't find any Akshans, you're gonna skip Akshan and go straight for Aphelios, right? And the only main difference in itemization is that Aphelios really needs the Rage Blade. After he gets the Rage Blade and the Ginsu, or yeah, the Ginsus and the Death Blade, then you can put any item on him. So you can do the Giant Slayer, you can do the Infinity Edge. Also, the Gunblade is actually pretty good on him as well. And then you're gonna dual carry Urgot. And so you just want something like mid-weight damage tanky items like Titan's Resolve, Hodge. I think the Hodge is better than the BT, but if you get BT, that's perfectly good as well. And then after you get that, sometimes I like to throw on some heavyweight damage items like an IE, or even Guardbreaker is good on him. And you could also consider this comp over the Akshan comp when you get certain augments that allow you to dual carry easy. So social distance is really strong in this comp because it it buffs everyone, right? And everyone can use it with 4 Deadeye. Another option is of course long distance pals, and this helps you dual carry Aphelios and Urgot. It got nerfed, but it's still a really strong augment. It's not like S tier, but it's still S tier. Freaky Friday is also really good in this comp. It gives you just an item for your duo carries. And then another option is you have my sword, a great option that gives you a sword and then also gives you some flat AD so that you can easily dual carry. And then the last one I have in the A tier is Riftwalk Kassadin. This, if I see this Riftwalk augment on 2-1, I'm likely going to take it. It's just a very easy like top 4 farmer. And so the way to play it is you're playing around the 4 bastions. So of course Kassadin, TARIC, Shen, and then Maokai until you find Cassante, right? And then after that, you just want to throw in your Targon units. So you're gonna also, while you're rolling for Kassadin on 6, you're also gonna be holding Soraka. Soraka really helps you out on this comp to heal up your Kassadin before you get him fully online. And then you're gonna want to throw in Aphelios on 6. And then you really want the Senna. Senna helps this comp so much because you have the 3 Targon. This Senna shield is massive. So you really want Senna on 7. For augments, all you're really looking for is anything that makes your Kassadin survive longer. So especially good is any kind of flat AP or flat HP because with Bastion he gets a ton of armor and MR. So just giving him any type of flat HP is gonna help him out, or any type of healing. So Cybernetic Leech is like the holy grail of this comp, giving you flat HP and Omni Bam. And combat caster is absolutely busted on this comp as well. Because everyone's casting so many times, especially Kassadin and Soraka, everyone's getting a fat shield. For itemization, you want this is like the triple glove combination, right? So it's Hodge into Jeweled Gauntlet into Quicksilver. This was common with Yasuo last set. So this combination is super strong. It does a ton of damage, it gives you healing, it gives you a tiny bit of durability. So that's how you itemize Kassadin. And then the last one I put in the A tier is Ravenous Warwick. I haven't been offered this augment once. I've never had the option of picking this augment. So I've never played it, but I see a lot of people getting first, second, third with this comp. So if you get it, I think the best way to play it is the 4 Juggernaut variation, 4 Challenger, 4 Juggernaut maybe? I don't know, I've never played this comp. In the B tier, Azir Lux, I think it's still good. It's kind of, if you miss everything, this can still help you save an 8th place and get you to like a 5th place, a 4th place, the 6th place. So I wouldn't recommend starting off and playing this comp, but if you're a low rolling, transitioning to Azir Lux might be a good option. It's still fairly good. The 6 Ionia, I think people are sleeping on. I think it's still really strong. I think it's a lot better than the 6 Challenger variation. and playing around Yasuo, and then playing around Callista if you have an Ionia spat, and then trying to cap out with Ahri. I think since Ahri got a huge buff, she's probably the strongest unit in the game. So the 6 Ionia variant is not bad. It just takes a lot of, it's just super expensive. And then Zeri got buffed. Zeri actually feels decently good. I wouldn't recommend her playing her without the without a Piltover start. But if you get a Piltover start, it's almost pretty much guaranteed at first. It feels really good. I can't believe the Piltover start's been nerfed so many times and it still feels good. So yeah, Zeri, I wouldn't recommend playing her without Piltover, but if you get Piltover, Zeri is a good option. And then the 6 Noxus. 6 Noxus is still strong. You still have a high potential to go first with this comp. The only problem is a lot of the early and mid game boards are a lot stronger now. So you can't win streak with like the trash, like Samira, Cassiopeia, Vlad. And so I only recommend you go 6 Noxus when you get an early Katarina or an early Darius right off the bat. Then you should consider the 6 Noxus. If not, if you only have a Kled, a Samira, a Cassiopeia, just ditch it and play something else, in my opinion. In the C tier, I haven't played Rek'Sai reroll or Garen reroll before, but I've seen them in my lobbies and them doing fairly decent. I wouldn't recommend, you know, loading up and playing this right off the bat. But if you're in a decent spot where you like find 6 Rek'Sais right off the bat or 6 Garens right off the bat, then it seems that these are pretty good. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm actually gonna drop an in-depth Invoker guide tomorrow, so please like and subscribe and then check that out tomorrow, okay? Peace!